All right, guys, so I'm going to try to do this the best that I can. We ran our last points race of the season yesterday. It was a nice day. I've been a little under the weather. I've had like a kind of like a weird cold slash sinus infection. So Sunday or Saturday, I actually kind of just really laid low, and as you can tell, my voice is more coarse than normal, I guess. I was just trying to get rest, and I loaded up the car, got everything ready, and we rolled out Sunday early. We started an hour early, so I had to be at the track by 7 to give me some time. So I rolled out of the shop actually probably about 6:30, not 7. I had to be there by 8 because we started running at 9. I need an hour at least between unloading and getting everything ready. Parking my moped, firing up the generator if I need it, just little things like that. So it turned out to be quite an interesting race day. All season long, we've had quite the amount of like a high count of cars and sportsmen, where it really threw a curveball and it became a crapshoot because some of the test and tuners would knock out some of the serious sportsman racers, and then some of the people that would make it along would have a second chance against the less experienced people who didn't know how to dial in, blah blah blah, yada yada. So either way, on our last race, I ended up double entering. I ran pro and I ran sportsman. And the reason for that is because we only had one time run for the day. And I also wanted to try my hand lever, if you guys remember, launch RPM device, which I think it's going to work. I just need more time with it. I tried it once and it was a pretty bad light. So I'm like, I'm not going to pursue this. It's not the day to do it. So after my first time run in pro, I go into the first round of eliminations. I do a burnout. I toss the belt for my alternator. Luckily, they picked it up. They handed it to me through the window. And by that point, my mind's kind of like, boom, distracted. Well, the alternator creates enough of an engine load where it affects how fast the RPM is going to come up. And I went 041 red on a pretty good run. The gal I ran against, she would have definitely broke out, but I went red. But that's what we used our pro eliminator runs for, was for testing. First round of sportsmen, I lined up against somebody in a newer Impala, like a 2020 Impala or something, running like a 14.5. So I had to chase him down. By the 8th mile, I had him covered, and I knew I was in trouble. So I started hitting the womp womp button, pedaling it, and I won that round. So that's the first time all year where I actually pedaled it, and I won that round. And then second round is my biggest regret of the season absolutely yet, because I'm not going to say it was dependent, but it has skewed all of the point standings. So I roll into the staging lanes with my dial-in of 1161. The air kept changing throughout the day, and I figured I'll put a 63 on it because I don't think the car is going to run any faster. All right, moment of silence. The car ran an 1161 with a 0, dead on. Had I left that 61 on, it would have changed a lot of things, and I'm not going to be bitter about it, but that's racing. I didn't catch the greatest light. I caught an 090 light, but I ran dead on the dial. And he ran 0.05 slower to he ran a 1/10.5. His margin of victory was like a 1/10.5. So even though I had an 090 light, I would have had him covered. or so I think. If I did the math, if I did the package, figured that out right, because the margin of victory was for him was like a 0.1546, and I ran it dead on 1161 with a 0 with an 090 light. So I could have won that one. And here's the kicker. The guy who I broke out against, he won the whole thing. He came up in points. I think I'm still within the top 10th, but I am like in a three-way tie for, technically, I think it would be 7th or 9th. I don't know. But I forgot how they base it. We'll see when the list comes out, but I did my point count for the track last night after watching the live feed. So either way, it's been a season. It's been a lot of fun. I achieved everything I wanted to this season. We've gotten two 1150s out of the car. The car ran an 1157 at Indy in the heat, and it ran an 1156 at Byron last weekend in our last points race, actually. And I mean, the car is still so good, but I have to pull the engine out. It has to get freshened up. But I'm going out to the track with a group of like Nostalgia Grudge racers next weekend, and that's going to be our last hurrah with that motor. And then, so let me turn this around and I'll talk about what I'm. All right. So if I have time, which I should, this is going to go in the car. And I am going to paint it. I'm going to make it nice. This is actually quite a nice engine. It's not bad. But I'm going out next Sunday, and that's going to be the last hurrah with the current engine in the car. And I'm going to put this in there and just drop it in with the current transmission and converter and see what it does. And I am going to try those headers because those are actually bigger primaries than what's on mine, I believe. And the backup transmission, I have to order I'm going to get a specific foot brake converter to run with that transmission. But, yeah, it's been a season. I'm going to try to get this in the car so we can go out and see what this combination do, and I can do closure on you guys. So there's going to be videos, pictures. Follow along, because when I do this swap, it will be documented. We will go to the track and everything. Hopefully it delivers. So we'll see you around. Follow along, share, like, subscribe. Hit the like button. Follow me on Instagram. It's Copper Cutlass. We'll see you.